Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Mrs. Z and Fifth with your host, Zach Kias and the Fifth General. Zach Kias, what up, man?
It was good. Good to be here. Definitely good to be here.
Yeah. How we doing?
Let's go. Yes.
Episode of the show. Those who pay attention. I want to start off by acknowledging at the top of this hour of this show, because look, we are the black media. And when I mean black media, I mean just me and Zacchaeus just so happen to be black men.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, at times on this podcast, you know, we sometimes report news, you know, and I feel like this news will be underreported. And if it is reported, they're going to really just down the sister. And we're not here to do that today. So I want to give a rest in peace to Assata Shakur. That's what I want to do.
Rest
Assata,
in peace.
for those who heard that last name and said that last name sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Assata was Tupac's aunt. Tupac Shakur's aunt. Afeni Shakur's sister. Known to be part of the Black Panther Party for self-defense. And her daughter has reported that she has passed away. Cuba, and the Cuban government has reported it. Cuba doesn't necessarily report anything, but we have Assata's daughter to let us know. So I want to give a rest in peace to her. I want to give her condolences to the Shakur family. That family's been through enough. My God. That family has seen a lot of death.
Yeah.
Right? So I just want to pay my respects to them. Zacchaeus, you have the floor.
Well, when you talk about the Assata and you talk about Afeni, and you listen to Tupac Shakur's music, some of the music. Yep. Some particular songs have like revolutionary feel to it, especially the song that goes like that says about our first black president. Forgot the name of that tune, man. Yeah. They talk about the first black. At that time when Tupac released that song, there was black presidents. You know, there was no Barack Obama at all. Nothing around. You know, at that time there was no black president. That was in the 90s because Tupac passed in September of 96. Mm-hmm. And Assata Shakur is just a symbol of revolutionary, symbol of civil rights. She's going to be in the books, in history books. She's going to be in the books. She's going to be in the books of our history. Now she's an ancestor now.
Yeah.
Assata Shakur is an ancestor now.
Yeah.
Now her daughter is around. This is the legacy of Tupac Shakur. And this is and Assata lived in Cuba for a long time, very long time.
Yeah. Got
out of Dodge, found her home in Cuba, where she resided and lived her life. Got out of the drama in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s. Got out of Dodge in the U.S. and said, "This is where I make my home." Felt more safe. And Black Panther Party of Self-Defense. We could be all night talking about the Black Panther Party, but I want to give our condolences to her extended family, friends, and rest in peace, rest in power to the late great Asada Shakur. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, rest in peace. I want to drop a respectable bomb for acknowledging her right now. So, yeah, that's how we gonna handle that, because I know a lot of people are not gonna want to talk about her because they're gonna talk about that other thing, but I'm not gonna talk about that because it's just I'm not gonna do that. But I'm gonna at least just acknowledge her
Yes.
out of respect. And that's really all I could do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So condolences to the family, and that's all I can say. And
Yeah.
pray for her daughter, man.
Yeah.
Pray for her daughter.
Yeah.
All right, Zacchaeus, you off air told me about a mental health situation
Yes.
on your Instagram. Report
Yes.
that story, man.
The last video I did was on I did one a live word of the day. I did a
Yeah.
video on Tyra Spalding, the contestant of the Miss Jamaica pageant. She's a contestant in the Miss Jamaica pageant, and she was battling with her mental health. Battling. She actually put out videos of her screaming out for help, talking about this and talking about that, talking about harming herself, talking about I don't want to be here. Should I be here? This world is so evil. And her clips that I shared went viral. Clips that she shared about her talking about her deleting herself went viral. That it made the Jamaica news. It only happened last Tuesday, where somebody found her unresponsive with a shower curtain wrapped around the neck. So,
yeah,
and I just want to address that and say that, man, the mental health crisis, mental illness crisis is exploded over the years. Over the years, as soon as you step outside, you see somebody that has mental illness. And I'm gonna say this to end this off too. I'm gonna say this too. She was crying out for help on video. I believe that somebody should have take notice and just somebody that knows her, not people that just heard of her and they aware of her, but people that know. Because her video went viral. It went viral enough that mostly everybody heard the video. Mostly everybody that and I'm sure people in Jamaica or some certain people, the video went viral. And I'm sure some people that knew her personally, seen the video, I believe they could have run out and did something to try to prevent that. But sometimes, like I said before in my video, you can't be with somebody 24/7. You could try to get them help. You see them crying out for help. You could attempt to get them help. Attempt to say something. Tell them to call the hotline. And they just, the next thing you know, they found her unresponsive.
Yeah.
If you see something, say something. You see something where somebody's talking like they want to delete themselves or harm themselves, or they're giving away things, or they're talking crazy about doing this and doing that, or talking about jumping from somewhere. Try to attempt to get them help. Don't just let it just let it be. Try to get them help. So that's my and condolences to her family, extended family, friends, and people that knew her personally, like her family. That condolences to them. Sorry for their loss. She was only 26 years old. Sorry for her loss. Yeah.
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 Yeah. That's kind of like, so there's a lot of unresolved, untouched kind of like situations with that, right? Because that's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, usually starts with depression and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
You know, there's usually signs. Or sometimes there's no signs at all. Well, at least not outwardly. You know, some things are internal, and it's a shame that she didn't have anybody, you know, with her, and you know, that could have like stopped it or prevented that. Is that what I'm getting? That there was nobody?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, yeah. I mean, for her to get that far, but if you, sometimes especially if she was crying out on video, I think somebody could have come to or say something or call some hotline to help her out, because she did put it out on video. Some people don't put it out on video.
Okay, so she did. Well,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Wow. Any feedback you got from that story, man?
Yes. I said was that when you see somebody like this, get them help.
Yeah.
Pray over them. And once I said the word pray over them,
right,
there was this one black woman that said, please do not make this spiritual. You're making this spiritual. That's getting me very upset. God has nothing to do with mental health. God doesn't know. She said that God doesn't know mental health issues.
God knows everything.
And I said that I disagree with you 100%. God created us, so he knows what goes on in our brain and mind, and he knows what goes on. She said, please, but God does not know mental health. Remember, that Bible is old. She said the Bible is old. The God doesn't know mental health. I said, listen, they had a man named Legion in the Bible that had demons that God cast out. So cast out demons out of this man. So Jesus cast out demons out of this man. So mental health issues is a battle within. People get depressed, and there's a battle within. The enemy is within when you deal with mental health, and sometimes it's the power of the Lord that can heal them, rebuke that demon inside of them, or something like that. And once I said that, Jay, she exploded with big letter words, saying, "How dare you? You're so disrespectful. Stop leaning on religion." That's why I can't. You know what? I'm unsubscribing, because you just lean on religion just too much. I can't take it anymore. That's what she said.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else you say to that. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I want something I want to report. This barely gets attention.
Yeah.
But this is a head scratcher.
Head scratcher?
Yeah. It's one of those stories that make you say, nah, there's more to that. There's no way that happened. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. I actually have the report. I have the actual report of it. I'm gonna let the news actually do the talking for me.
Mm-hmm.
So let's put this on the Summer Jam screen. You may even know this story. Let's see.
Oh, I did a story on this. Yes.
That this is not only about facts.
Yes.
There we go.
Mississippi and tell us this morning that they can only say so much, but are trying to make clear to the public that the tragic death of Delta State University student DeMartravion Reed did not involve any foul play. Trey, as he's known, is the young black man who was found hanging from a campus tree on Monday morning.
We recognize that this is not only about facts. It's about emotions and it's about feelings. And the way this loss and how it was discovered affects people's lives.
Reed's family is having trouble believing authorities, saying that he was happy and excited about college. They're demanding to see video of his final moments that police say they have.
There's video out there, and we can't speak to that at this moment. It's still an ongoing investigation.
According to an early report from the county coroner, the student didn't suffer any lacerations, contusions, compound fractures, broken bones, or injuries consistent with an assault. Lawyers for the family are now calling for an independent autopsy and a more thorough investigation, saying that Trey's family deserves answers they can trust. We cannot accept rushed conclusions when the stakes are this high. Many students and faculty don't know what to think. Campuses like this one have been caught in the cultural crossfire with bomb threats and false reports of active shooters.
I can say that my heartbreak is comprehensive. This institution should not be associated with hate or hate crimes. If people knew this place, they look at it and say, wouldn't it be better if America was more like Delta State University?
There is great public interest in this case, especially on social media. We expect a more complete autopsy by the end of this week. Michael?
Yeah, we sure hope so, Steve. Thank you for that.
So water bottles have been.
Let me tell you, yeah. Trey Reed. I did a coverage on that because this is 2025 and still lynching in 2025, right? Now, Black people, I'm going into history now. From 1865 to 1965, that's 5,000 Black people that was lynched. Okay? And ain't no way in the world, because this is after the CK's situation.
Yep.
So he didn't do that to himself. And in light of what went on the week before that, this is at a Black Delta State college, all Black college.
HBCU.
HBCU. Somebody wants to start a race war. Okay. Ain't no way in the world this, Grenada, Mississippi. Now, ain't no way in the world that this young man would do that to himself. I know mental health issues is off the roof, but he was hanging from a tree. And Mississippi has a history, a serious history in our past when it comes to retaliation against Black people. So there's no accident.
Did you hear what I said?
I was waiting to see. I really want to follow up on this case because I really do. Because I really like to follow up on this case because to me, and I know how this place operates. This happened a few weeks ago, so they want to brush it under the rug. And I say no. Don't let Trey Reed's death go in vain by brushing it underneath the carpet and that's it. He was hung and that was it. That's it. No. Because if you don't fight, it can easily be brushed underneath the carpet. Easy. I don't know if attorney Benjamin Crumb is looking into this, or I don't know. But this is something to definitely pay attention to because Black students, HSBCU, are afraid to walk around on the campus in light of what happened. I'll be afraid too as a student because it's like he was found that way. And we know the history of lynching. He was found that way. Yeah. Years ago in the 90s, I think there's a man named Bird. It's not an lynching incident, but he was dragged from a truck. Same thing. Those who are young probably don't remember, but I remember that.
Are you referring to Jasper, Texas?
Yes. When they had the riot and he was lynched to himself because of a hate group, due to a hate group. But this case right here, Trey Reed, this is somebody wants to start something, race, what they want to do it. And that can trigger it off right there. Now they said that they said that they didn't find any broken bones. They didn't find anything. Lacerations. He was probably fighting for his life. I believe they did find certain situations that was battered and beaten up before they did that to him. Because before they do that, anybody they're trying to lynch is always a fight. You're gonna fight.
Yeah.
You're gonna fight. And this on a college campus, that's a message.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, Zacchaeus.
Mm-hmm.
So we're supposed to believe in 2025 that Black people are creating nooses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Necktie rope nooses, and somehow putting themselves up on a tree and hanging themselves. We're supposed to believe that in 2025.
Did you hear what I said?
Exactly.
So that's something we're supposed to believe, right?
Yeah.
And then we're supposed to just say, and then we're supposed to just wake up, see that, eat our breakfast, and say, "Wow, so sad, baby. Can you pass me the butter?"
Exactly. Hello. Exactly.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Read it and just go our business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to forget that post-slavery was more lynchings versus the lynchings that were done during slavery.
Exactly.
So we're supposed to believe that just young Black men and some Black women, because within the last 20 years, there have been like lynchings, right?
Yes.
And they've all ruled them suicide.
Yes.
You've been noticing that pattern, right, Zacchaeus?
Yes.
So automatically it's just suicide.
Just suicide. More of us are deleting ourselves. That's what they're saying.
Right. Most of the time when people hang themselves, because there are people who do commit suicide that way, but most people who hang themselves don't do it in public.
No.
Yeah.
They don't.
So we're just supposed to listen. And after what you just said, right? What you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
The news reported it was like, well, lately they got bomb threats. Well, we know why that happened, right?
Yeah.
If people have been watching the news, all HBCUs have been getting terrorist threats, bomb threats. A couple of people have walked up on a couple of campuses and got walked out because they were trying to display some stuff.
Yeah, see?
And people who go to HBCUs have nothing to do with what happened not too long ago.
Exactly.
So why are HBCUs getting targeted for something that happened in a state that doesn't even have an HBCU?
Exactly. And we had nothing to do with that event that happened.
So why is it that the HBCUs, I just want people to think about this. What does what happened in a state, that sits in an area that's neighbors with let me look at my map because the government is really listening and paying attention to what we say. I'm trying to figure out why a state that sits between Nevada and Colorado. There's a state right in the middle of Nevada and Colorado, for those who are on their map right now. Something happened in that state within the last couple of weeks They got the person who did whatever they did in that state. So why is it that HBCUs are getting threats? Because something happened in a state where there's no HBCU. The person who did the thing had no affiliation with an HBCU. So why is HBCUs getting threats? Tell me that.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
I mean, I just want to know why. I don't think I'll get an answer. Well, Zacchaeus, me and you know the answer, but I don't think I'll get an example from the public because it doesn't make sense why that has happened.
Right.
You know?
Right.
What is that?
So
doesn't make any sense.
They say every action is a reaction.
Right.
So then how come the threat just so happens to be done to states that have HBCUs on the East Coast and the South? Why how I don't understand why something happened in the place where the Jazz play.
Right.
Mm-hmm. The Jazz play, right? That's where a state where NBA team by the name of the Jazz has something to do with something that a school in Mississippi. There's no correlation.
No.
or Howard University, Shaw University, Morehouse, Spelman.
Mm-hmm.
Hampton.
Mm-hmm.
Why are those schools getting threatened?
We know why. It's crazy.
We know why, but Zacchaeus, does everyone else know why?
No. Some people figure it out, but some people turn a blind. They turn their back to it. Don't want to address it. Don't want to talk about it.
Okay, all right. That was all I was asking. I mean, because I'm pretty much. But listen, me and you are gonna keep a close look on this story.
Yes.
I applaud the family, urge the family to keep in touch with their private investigation and private autopsy, because this has happened before where the city or the state, whoever who does the autopsy, will do these types of autopsies very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay.
And then when they get us somebody else to go in there and they're like, oh no. Come to find out, man, that brother was dead before he was pulled on the rope. Okay, so now you got to investigate that.
Yes.
If that ends up being the situation. Listen, man. When this stuff happens, you don't just roll over and go to sleep.
Exactly, and just go on your way. Yeah.
Well, keep in mind, Black Death is desensitized. It's desensitized like stepping on a roach. You don't think nothing of it.
Right.
And that's what has happened in this country and in this world.
Yes.
Is that you could just be dealt with without, depending on who does it to you, without impunity. And then we're supposed to just get our cup of coffee and a butter roll the next day like nothing happened. No, this is a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if this can happen at Delta State, what's to stop it from happening at
Spelman
or Morehouse?
At Morehouse College, yeah.
Or Howard University.
Yes. And those campuses are big.
Yeah.
They're very big campuses. So a militia group can get on there. A supremacy group can get on there and do their thing quietly. This is why people are scared.
You know, they have something called dry runs, right? A
You need to
dry
have
run.
cameras everywhere.
Yeah, Zacchaeus, I'm giving the mic back to you, but hear what I'm about to say, right?
Yeah.
Now we're not going to tell our jobs, right? But me and you both do things that require you to be on high alert, right?
Yes.
Right? Okay. So there's something called dry runs. You're familiar with that? Where
Yes.
it's not the thing that happens, but it's let's just see what the vulnerabilities are.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Zacchaeus. Delta State need to prepare themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because whoever who did this is going to want to come back.
Yes. Yes.
And not by themselves.
Right. 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 You see, when things are brushed underneath the carpet, trust me, they look to strike again. When things are brushed underneath the carpet and it fades away into midair, it can be done again. Easy. Who's to say they're not going to do it again? It can be done again. So this is why you have to address it. This is why you have to dive deep into an investigation. I'm hoping that they have cameras, and because I know some college campuses, some of the cameras don't work, or maybe don't have cameras in that area, certain areas. But it could have been somebody that studied the campus, because those campuses get big, you get lost. They studied the campus, and then Trey Reed was at some part of the campus where it's maybe remote and quiet, walking by himself, and he was their target at that moment, at that time.
Yeah.
Scary, yeah. And this has been going on, like I said before, ever since after 1865, this has been going on. The lynching, even during slavery, has been going on. But even after slavery, much more. Jim Crow been going on. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I want to shift gears here. Zacchaeus, we talk about dating topics a lot, right?
Yes.
A lot of things are just like recycled. Like there's a lot of recycled stuff going on, right? Like every time you turn around, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, right? And I know there's an agenda out there, right?
Yeah.
But it's like this, right? So my thing is, man, I think we have a real problem out here.
Yeah.
We have a real problem. The gender war, man. This gender war stuff is crazy, man. And I know it's not everybody. And look, man, God bless those who understand, what's going on and know that, hey, man, we're not falling for this. We want to create families and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna say this: if you are a man or a woman, and you're not for the structure, if you're a man or a woman and you claim to be pro-black, but you're not promoting black families, you're the enemy.
Hello.
Checkmate.
And it ain't no way another way around it to say it. Because you can't be pro-black and not be pro-black family. That's part of being pro-black.
Yes. Yes.
And being pro-black doesn't mean anti anything else. The point is that you want things. If you want a community that is going to thrive and to be structural, then you have to advocate for families. You know what I'm saying? Man, woman, and child. That's a family. Well, even if it's just man and woman and you're getting married, You know,
Yeah.
that's family too. It's just a family of two as opposed to a family of 2 plus,
Yes.
children. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I feel like if you're against that, then you can't call yourself pro-black. You definitely
Right.
can't call you definitely can't call yourself pro-family.
Right.
But if you're about individualism, just say that. And if that's what you're about, then we're gonna have to put you off to the wayside because that's not community building.
Right. Right.
A community is about that structure. And that structure
Mhm.
comes from a family, man.
Mhm.
Both the parents in the house. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that's a problem because I was watching a show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I watch a lot of podcasts, because we
Yeah,
do
yes.
one. So I also watch podcasts. And
Right.
this
right.
one
right.
lady,
Yes.
this one lady was calling herself like she was saying she was pro-black and a feminist at the same time. That's contradicting, right?
Yeah.
Because feminists don't often advocate for families.
Right. No.
So I don't know where that comes from, right? So
Maybe-
then,
Yeah.
right. So then she was like, "Well, I'm not anti-family. I'm just saying that ain't the goal." Okay, so what is the goal? Well, it could be out of that, but you spend more time talking about what men aren't
Mm-hmm.
and roles and stuff, and then you get lost in your roles. Like this woman was saying that she don't believe in gender roles, but says that men should pay all the bills.
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
That doesn't make any sense. So you don't in gender roles when it comes to meals that need to be cooked and dishes that need to be cleaned.
Yes.
And you say, "Oh, the man could clean. He can cook and clean. It doesn't have to just be the woman."
Yeah.
And the woman could work. It doesn't just have to be the man. When you're saying the man has to pay all the bills, well, why? Well, because he's a man, and the Bible says the men, should take care of their family, and and it's like you want to quote the Bible when money is now brought up, but you didn't want to quote that Bible when it came to being a helpmate.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't believe in gender roles.
Yeah,
Unless bills got to get paid.
There you go. Yeah.
Now, fellas, I want to talk to the men. Because men are not off the hook when I say this either, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fellas, if you don't have a plan, you got to leave women alone, man. It just doesn't make any sense because, there's a lot of men that I hear that say that they want their structure. But in order to have a structure, you got to have a plan. And fellas, stop getting women that don't fit your blueprint. Because the problem is a lot of us are trying to change women. I'm going to keep it real. We should not be changing women.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
We should. You know how women say, "Take me as I am"?
Yes.
Right? Okay, I'll play your game. So what is it that you are? You're disrespectful. You're not cooperative. You don't help with anything. You don't help build anything.
Mm-hmm.
But you do a lot of taking. Okay, cool. So that's who you are. Don't mean I got to take it. I can leave it. So I'll leave that situation.
Yes.
And then I'm going to go to the woman who's kind, nice, respectful, prudent, virtuous, makes a healthy compromise, who is cooperating, who has a nurturing spirit, right? who not only loves herself and her family, but she also wants to contribute to her community. That is the woman that I'll take.
Hello.
Now, guess what, fellas? That's a reward.
Yes.
So here's the work you got to do. You need to be respectful. You got to have a good heart. You got to follow God. You got to have a blueprint. You got to have a plan. And you need to be in position to not only take care of yourself, but that woman you make your wife.
Yes.
I'm not talking about trips to Paris. It's not what I mean by take care of. Those are additions, right?
Right. Yeah.
And you will get there. I'm saying the things that the basic essentials.
Mm-hmm.
You could at least cover that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're an honorable man and you're doing those things correctly, and even if you don't get a wife, still be these things anyway.
Yes.
Because you're still going to be a blessing to the world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and then let God lead you. You know what I mean?
You gotta lead the way.
So,
yeah.
But understand that the women that are gifts are going to be with men that are gifts.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, this is why I'm saying men ain't off the hook, because I got to get with the men too. I hear men talk all the time, me included, but I understand what it takes. Zacchaeus, you're a married man. You understood what it took, and you still understand what it takes to maintain your marriage.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, there's this misconception that men get on, that men get on podcasts and just down women. They don't hold men accountable. No, we do hold men accountable.
Right.
We hold both women and men accountable.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We do. You know what I'm saying? We have done that all throughout the time.
Yes.
You know, so we have topics about this.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And we support good men and women. That's what we advocate for. Some people think that gets lost in the message, but if you listen long enough and you hear what we say, we always at the end wrap it up and say, okay, we talked about the unbecoming behavior because we want you to disconnect from it. You need to know what it is, and disconnect from it. Now let's get into the behavior that is becoming, and exercise that, and let that be the wheelhouse of the community.
Yes. Yes.
Zacchaeus, you have the floor.
You know the biggest mistakes that people make, and this is why some people remain single.
Yeah.
One of the biggest mistakes that they make is that, and I'm going to address the men, but I'm also going to address the women too. First, I'm going to address the men.
Yep.
If you really studied the principles of the Bible, right, and you studied Adam that had the foundation, and you focused how you had the foundation, and then he added Eve because he already laid the foundation already, and Eve was an add-on. She complemented Adam. And when you're doing things and you're structured and you're disciplined and you're working on yourself, physically working on yourself, mentally working on yourself, also financially working on yourself, you'll be an add-on to her too as well. Because the many, many times when you rush, because you don't want to be alone, you rush into a relationship and you think it's the right one, you just rush in, but you're not getting yourself together. You're not together, but you just got out of a relationship and you weren't ready. And I've seen men do this rush into another relationship right away. There's women that do it too. They rush into another relationship. You break up with somebody that you've been going on for a long, long period of time, and you rush. But the problems that you had in the last relationship you haven't solved it. So you rush in to get into something else. What do you think is going to happen in a new relationship?
Right.
Because I always say this: if you're a person that's broken and she's broken, it's going to be a broken relationship. And if you're not building yourself to just, you're always online, on online dating, prescriptions. And I'm sure they're not free. I've never been, see, I'm not in that generation because I've been married since 2002. And I don't even know what a dating site looked like. But I was single during the time of the dating hotline. See, I'm telling my age already. I was single during the date when you used to hook up with somebody on the phone, like a dating hotline thing, way back in the 90s.
Yeah.
But now it's an online dating thing. And there's people that I don't even know how much it costs a month. Is it $15 a month, $30 a month, sometimes $20 a month? It varies.
Well, I mean, there's paid stuff and then there's free stuff.
And there's free stuff too. There's Facebook. There's Facebook. There's Instagram. People hook up with each other from Instagram, that's a different topic altogether. That's dangerous too. There was a story about that guy hooked up with a girl on Instagram, and she set him up. Just like how what's the brother name? That the star years ago in 2002, the actor from Dominican Republic, New York City. Trying to remember his name. He used to be on the Steve Harvey show. The Steve Harvey show.
You're talking about Merlin Santana, right?
Marlon Santana. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
He ended tragically.
Yeah, sad. So you got to be.
He got set up. Yeah.
He got set up. Yeah. So instead of focusing on dating, you got to focus on trying to reach your goals. Try to focus on your passions. Try to focus on your passions. Try to build your passions up. Try to build your excitement for your passion up. And then when you pushing for your goal, before you know it, you're pushing for your goal. You're building yourself up mentally. You're treating your body right, trying to eat right, exercise. You're praying. You're getting your spiritual man build up. Then you can select a wife. Then you could not just a girlfriend, but a wife. Yeah. But the thing is that when you lean too much on, like, oh man, she looks good, I gotta get with her, man. She looking so good, I gotta get with her. There's nothing wrong with that. You can look at a girl like that and you can, but make sure that you're pushing your goal, make sure that you're reaching your goal. Because the truth of the matter is that when you rush, then you jump into bed with her, then you get her, then you have a baby with her. Then you realize that your finances are not together. So what does that cause? Confusion. It causes arguments. It causes, well, I want to go out today. Who got the baby? I don't have enough money for diapers. I did a story like that not too long ago. A couple just fighting over, and he's not working. He don't have a job. And she's complaining. This is a story that took place in Florida. She's complaining that he's not doing his part. He's not doing his part, and it caused a big friction, big argument, explosive argument, that he wind up harming his baby because aggravated, upset, bent out of shape, he wound up harming the baby. Baby's not alive today. because he snapped. So this is why I tell guys, I tell men, and some women too, build your foundation up, which is your spirit, build your spiritual man up. Get yourself together, work on your foundation, work on your goals. Yeah, I ain't telling you to wait 10 years. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm not telling you to wait, but in the process, work on what you want to work on, because you see when you put you all in all into somebody and you lean on somebody to cover you financially, it never winds up good, especially when a man does it. It doesn't. Women too, but men more. It doesn't, because God's principles, the Bible will never go, God's word will never go void. It will never get old. Adam had a foundation, and he had the foundation, and God gave him, because he was alone. No, God, because he had the foundation, God gave him Eve to complement him. So the same thing, you when you follow that principle, you can never go wrong. It's never too old. Trust me. You should not be, a man should not be playing video games while his wife going out there and working, and you're not pushing for anything. You're not doing anything. You're just dependent on her money, or vice versa. Do something. Build yourself up. Make sure that you're happy with yourself.
Zacchaeus,
Yeah.
wait.
Mhm.
Zacchaeus, your context is, don't be doing that if you don't have a job. Just want to make sure that's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure, because
Yes, because I did mention
a man having a hobby is fine.
Yes, nothing wrong with having
You're not saying don't have a hobby. You're just saying
yes.
don't waste time doing things that bring no value.
Right.
Meanwhile, and you ain't got no job and y'all struggling.
Right.
Okay. I just want to make
Because
sure.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
It brings a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
It brings arguments. It brings turmoil in a relationship. It's a disarray. It's this, and then you add a child onto that too.
Yeah.
It never pans out right. That's why so much people, they want to be a single parent, because it never pans out right. It just never. Over the years, I've seen people relationships dismantled because of finances, dismantled because they thought they were ready and they were just not ready. They broke up with somebody, and you rush into another relationship thinking that you're ready, that you got over that last relationship, bringing your old problems into the new relationship, thinking with her or thinking with him is going to be better. And it never pans out right. It never pans out right. Build yourself up spiritually, financially, mentally. And then if it's in God's purpose for you to be with somebody, then he'll lay the foundation for you to have somebody.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Yeah. That's what I say. I mean, so much people that are break up because of that. Break up, just can't do it no more. The arguments overwhelming. They thought they was in love. They thought they were in love. They thought that they could have handled it. They thought they could have deal with it, and then they wind up. Person brought the worst out of them, and they wind up doing something that they regret, or saying something that they regret, because you're under a lot of stress. You're under a lot of stress, and you thought you could have done it, and you might as well just stay single for a while. Not saying single forever, but it's like trying to get in a place. You had a newborn and not having a job, but yet you're trying to date. I remember one time you told me that, Fifth. You was like, listen, I ain't trying to date nobody if I ain't got a job.
Zacchaeus, I'll speak to that real quickly.
Yeah.
When I was in my 20s, I was broke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So throughout my whole 20s, I didn't have relationships.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, towards the end. But
Towards the end, yeah.
most of those 20s,
Mm-hmm.
I struggled.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
I had to take anything I could get job wise, seasonal, temp, apprenticeship, all that type of stuff.
Mhm.
You know, jobs that were temporary. You know, it lasted for a session, and I jumped around. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I struggled.
Yeah.
So I I left well enough alone. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Once I started to really get, this was like during my college years and then after my college years.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
So it wasn't all sunshine and roses. You know what I'm saying?
right.
You know?
Right.
And there were times where I had part-time jobs, full-time. I mean, jobs that weren't really good on the income level. So because I knew that, I was like, nah, I'm not going to bring a woman into this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I will say this though. Maybe if I was in a situation, because I don't want to take this for granted. Well, maybe if it was a situation, because I never gave this a chance, but I have things that I'm comfortable with and not comfortable. Would I have still probably would have gotten a decent relationship in those times? I may have, because then we could have, I could have just built on what I had and she built on what I had and we came together about it.
Yes.
But honestly, my thing was I wanted to make sure that I had things more consistent, because like I said, it wasn't consistent. Like I would have a job, then not have a job, not because I quit, but because the session would run out. So in my 20s, I had struggles. So I didn't have relationships in most of my 20s. You know what I'm saying? Towards 30, then things started to kind of fan out a little bit different. But yeah.
I remember, yeah.
So so when I say what I say earlier, I was talking about myself too. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have a plan. So being that I didn't have a plan, I worked on myself so that I could have a plan. You understand? So I had to build that foundation within myself. So I know.
Yeah.
I didn't bring anybody into my mess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the whole point. There are things that as a man that you got to come to grips with before you go out there and put yourself out there in the dating world. You know what I'm saying? And that's real stuff. And here's my advice to women, right? Women, you don't have to have it all, but you got to be about something. If you want these men to be about something, you got to be about something too.
Hello. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There was a brother. There was a brother on Pop the Balloon, and I was looking at the episode. There was a small clip, and I think it was True Rahul, one of the YouTubers, and he was, and this woman, this man was, I guess he was like a contestant, and all these women it was holding their balloons, and he said, because he said, listen, I make a $200,000 a year salary, but as soon as he said that, he said, I want to make sure that I select a woman that is not just coming for the ride to enjoy my money, but I want her to be financially stabilized too, with making decent amount of money. When he said that, most of them popped their balloons. Most of them popped their balloons. And then one woman, she jumped in and said, well, it seems like why can't you just take a woman the way she is and everything the way she is? Because why can't you just take a woman the way she is? Now his reply was like, well, I want her to be about something too. I want her to have some kind of foundation too, not just me.
Right.
Because if I'm not going to not just bring you in, so you're just going to just lean on my hard work, depend on my hard work to secure you. You have to you're your own individual. You have to have something that you build for yourself too. So that was, and because he said that, and his brother didn't leave with anybody. Eventually, they all popped on him. But yeah, eventually they all popped on him. So going back to what you say, piggyback on what you said, is true. You got to have something too.
Yeah. Now I haven't asked you a question. You know, usually I ask you questions sometimes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, man, I have a question, man. Is should a man be concerned in his marriage when he's not thriving? I got another question after that.
Yeah.
Okay, explain why.
Striving, like financially or like financially, not striving.
Yeah, when a man thriving. So should a man be worried? Should a man be worried or concerned? I'll say in his marriage when he hits a moment where he's not thriving.
Well, it depends.
Okay.
It depends because they have some wives that are prudent. They're supportive.
Mm-hmm.
They're supportive, and you married the right. If you were to marry the right one, it depends on who you married to. Because if you married the one that God has laid out for you, you married the right one, then she will be supportive, right? And sometimes there's going to be up and downs in marriage, right? And you be hitting some rough patches, and you want to know if somebody is supportive of you. But she got to see that you're trying, that you're trying to better yourself. You're trying to, whatever it is. Maybe I think maybe it might be financially, right? You're striving to get a better job, or you're striving to better your situation, and trying to better your situation so you get something and I always say this: if it's financially, make sure you get something that's consistent. Simple job that eases the stress. It eases the stress. Why eases the stress? Because you're showing her that you're trying. May not pay you a lot, but at least it shows that you're trying. It eases stress because by you not contributing to the bills or finances, it does bring a strain, even to a good woman. It does bring a because now you're out of order, because as men, of course, you're supposed to be the provider. Supposed to be the one that have the foundation. You're supposed to be the provider and supposed to provide for your family. Supposed to provide for your family. So by you being out of line, it does bring stress. So it just brings a concern.
Right. Now it doesn't mean that's how he started, but that's how
he started. No, it just happened that he just hit a bump in the road.
Okay.
You know, a bump.
You said some wives, right?
Yes, some. Yes,
would be supportive.
Some, yeah.
Would you care to guesstimate a percentage? Would you say that's a minority of married women or a majority of married women?
That's a minority. The only reason why I say it's a minority. The only reason why I say it's a minority because let's face it, it's a lot of divorces. People,
right? And who initiates them mostly?
The women. The women. Okay, it's a lot. There's a lot of divorces because when you're not contributing, she got to see that you're at least trying. And even with that, if it's not enough money, listen, even if it's not enough money, it can bring a lot of stress. Remember the movie Dead Presidents?
Yes.
Remember the movie Dead Presidents? Classic film. I loved it. Remember that? Taye Diggs?
One of my favorite movies. No, yes. Lorenz Tate.
Yeah, Lorenz Tate. Yes. Lorenz Tate, yes. And when just came back from Vietnam, the Vietnam War, and he was away for a while. The pimp, played by Clifton Davis, right?
Clifton Powell.
I'm saying the wrong names. Clifton Powell. was covered her, was giving her money while he was gone. And at that time, during the early 1970s, like 1975, 1974, people came back from the war with no jobs. They had no jobs.
Let's get specific, Zacchaeus.
Black people had no jobs.
Right.
Okay.
They came back from the war.
Vietnam War.
Right.
Sacrificed their lives.
Right. Some of them hooked on drugs.
Some hooked on drugs because there was a lot of stress at that time.
Right.
You come back, you think that your country has you, right?
Right. Right.
You think that your country has you. And you coming back home and
couldn't get work.
Couldn't get no work. Lorenz Tate called a meat job. He was cutting meat.
Yeah.
And the man went out of business.
Yeah.
He went out of business. Now, when I was watching that film, and I was saying to myself, man, it's so important to get. And I learned from when I watched that film years ago, because I seen it when it first came out. And I learned something that's like, man, it can really bring a lot of stress when you're a man and not bringing income to your home. And I said that years ago. And I was when I seen that film, I think I was in my 20s when that came out, I think. Yeah, and I said that brings a lot of stress. Now, maybe if I was a Lorenz Tate, I would have probably been like try to go for a police job. I mean, that's me. Everybody's different. I would have tried to do that. At least coming out the service, trying to do that, because some income is better than no income, right? It's not. And I said that it's kind of hard when you're a man and you're not able to provide. That hurts. And he had a child of that, and he had a child too on top of that, little girl. And I say this, although this film was fictional, right? But it's a real life. Mm-hmm. It's real life, because during the early 1970s, mid 1970s, there was no jobs. You came back from the war, and people were struggling. They were homeless. The war, you came back, you serve your country, homeless. There was no jobs to really. And if you get a job, you'd be lucky if it lasts a week. You'd be lucky if it lasts, because it was during those times, it was like more like a recession. They were struggling financially. And I said to myself, man, it is really hard when you don't have a job and you go, and that woman gives you a lot of stress. Now, granted, maybe some women would be patient with you and be like, okay, maybe I'm gonna give him a few months to get himself together, and they stick by your side. But you gotta try. You gotta try hard. You gotta work hard. You gotta try hard to get that something. I mean, during the movie, I just didn't like the way he ended. He wound up robbing, and I didn't like it, because I love the film, but it's just that it's real life. The man wound up because he got desperate, and desperate measures cause you to do desperate things. When your back is against the wall, he just got fired from. He did not fire, but he just lost his job from the meat market because the man went out of business, and now how are you gonna get that money? Figured that he joined the Black Panther. The woman was trying to push the Black Panther Party, and they were like, So he figured that he just get into this scheme.
Yeah. And
it makes you do some. When you don't have money, man, it just causes you to do some things. Some people, not everybody. I gotta say some. Cause you to do some crazy things. And I remember leaving. I remember watching the end of that film. I enjoyed the song, and I remember watching the end of that film, and just I came up with such a headache. I was like, man, he could have just chose a different path. Oh man. He could have chose it. It was hard. It was tough. It was tough. And I think by him being around people to rob the bank, rob the truck, the truck that had the armored truck.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather not do that.
Yeah.
Because you Wow. That film was explosive. You can still watch that film till this day and learn a lot from it. You can take different pieces of that film, their presidents, and you can still, till this day, can still learn a lot from that film. Till this day. Yeah.
You know, and briefly, then I got to get to my next question. It just shows that, you know, the history, right? And this is why a lot of black people have their reserves about the military, because it's like, you know, decades before, about a few decades before Vietnam War was the Tuskegee experiments. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know, if we're talking about World War II and everything, right?
Yeah.
So you can see why that the relationship between the military and black people doesn't have a good history at all.
No.
Okay. So that movie basically showed in that particular time, hey, this is how they were treated. And keep in mind, a lot of people came back with Agent Orange, and they were dying from that. A lot of black men. I mean, white men to all races, right? But a lot of people came back from the Vietnam War with Agent Orange poisoning and stuff like that. And people, you know, died early. You know, some may have survived it, but they have defects. You know what I'm saying? Zacchaeus, follow-up question.
Mm-hmm.
Do women have to worry or be concerned in a marriage when they're not thriving?
No. That's easy. No. They don't.
Expand.
You see, when you're a man that have they look at, because women, they more like they don't have to, they're not stressed out for like as far as like finances is concerned. They worry about finance, don't get me wrong, but
yeah.
But as far as like the stress of a man, because as a man, you're the head of the household, right?
Yeah.
So the weight is on your shoulders to cover her, cover your family, protect her, protect your family. And the stress is not that much on the woman. You see, if she don't have a job, he'll be more lenient with her. A man would do more overtime, right? Because I have a job, I can do more overtime. I can do more, I can get a second job. And I wouldn't stress her because I'm the man. I wouldn't stress her because I'm gonna do my part and I'm gonna cover her and she can be without a job for years, right? We can't do that as men. We can't do that as men because they're looking to us as the head of the household. It'll be like in terms of out of order, because like, wait a minute. Because if you do it, you get disrespected. If the man does it, he get disrespected. He'll be treated like a little kid. Disrespect. Basic disrespect. And a whole lot of stress to make her say, I want a divorce. Now, tables turn. A man is not saying I want a divorce if you ain't got a job. He's not saying that. He's saying that, okay, sweetie, okay, honey, I'll see what I can do. I'll pull some more. Even if she loses a job, he don't stress it like that. A man never stress it. But if he loses a job, World War III, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So he got to cover it. He got to make sure that everything is and it's okay, because she could be without a job for years, and that's okay. He'll make sure that he'll pull his weight, and take care of the kids. Maybe cook the food too. But they got some ladies that don't even do that. They just sit there and look pretty.
Yeah. Well, because
he's like a Superman. He does like 2 jobs to do everything, come home, help her with the kids, and he just sit there and look pretty.
Yeah.
You know, but so yes, we have more stress on our backs when it comes to providing, laying the foundation, providing. We have way more stress than a woman. Woman could be without a job for a while, could be without a job for a while, and he got hold her down until she gets herself on her feet.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, until she gets her stuff together. But we won't be leaning on divorce. We won't be leaning on, I can't, causing arguments, causing grief, causing stress. We won't be leaning on that because you have a more understanding that, okay, she ain't got a job, but okay. But tables turn. It's a different scenario altogether. Tables turn is a different story altogether. Yeah.
Zacchaeus, I've known people who've said that. I'm not even making this up when I say this. There are men that I have known in my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether they was in a relationship or marriage, and they have told me that when, like, they would be with a woman, right, their girl or their wife, and they would say, hey, my wife didn't have a job for 10 years,
Yeah.
And we were married and everything was fine.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I lost my job and my wife left me for 5 months.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah. Yes. Facts. Yeah. That's because they have, you see, women lean on security. They lean on security back. I mean, they lean on security hard. They love their comfort. They lean on security. That's the main thing that's one of the main things that women lean on is security. Security. Financially secured. Maybe emotional security, emotional security too. That she gotta know that you're there with her. You're not cheating on her. You're there with her. You're with her. She can know she's comfortable knowing that she can trust you. But the finance department is big. It's huge. Believe it, the nicest person can turn into a gremlin because you lose your income as a man. It just changes the whole dynamic of your household. Even if you have kids, it just changes the whole situation in a major way. Because they got some women that will tolerate it for a while. They give them, like I said, months. It's only months.
Yeah.
Months.
Versus 10 years, you've been holding it down and you lose your job for 5 months.
10 years, trust me, with that 10 years, if she does it for 10 years with you, it's disrespect that comes with that. I'm sorry to say.
Right. But that means that, to me, I feel like that woman was never your wife.
Yeah.
She was married to you.
Yeah, but it's
right.
Yeah.
But she was never your wife. You remember that show? There's an old episode we got, and you said, the man said, I married a wife, but it turns out that I got a knife.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I understand the metaphor, right? And this is not to beat up on women, but I just want women to understand from our view. It's very stressful being a husband, right?
Yeah.
In that sense, because it's like we have to never be caught. We have to never lose. And life is about wins and losses.
Yes.
There will be somewhere in an area of your life where you can't win all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what is it that you do? And I'm not saying this to discourage men from marriage, because I just said earlier that I'm pro-marriage and pro-family, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that, but I understand why some men would have a fear of marriage, because at some point in their marriage, they're going to disappoint their wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if the fear is, I may lose her, but, I'll have grace for her, if she loses her job, but will she ever have grace for me if I lose mine? And you don't know until you're in that situation. Now, let me tell you something. And let me tell you something. I think it's very sad and heartbreaking that a man could be working a job for 10 years and then he loses his job and his wife leaves him in 5 months.
Yeah.
That is so disheartening. It's heartbreaking. It makes you want to cry on the inside for a man who's experienced that.
Yeah.
And women, hey, I know there are stories, but it's not a majority of y'all. And if you say it is, you're lying, because I got the stats. But let's talk about the minority of women who have stood by their man for countless years when he wasn't on top. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll applaud you. Okay. But that is not the majority of y'all.
No, that's not.
That is a very small percentage of y'all. But the stats have, But the stats have showed that men don't leave their wives when their wives lose a job. No. Here's what a man will do. Let's talk about it. And then we got to end the show. We're running overtime. But this is important to get out. Here's what a man would do and should do. Wives. Let's just say he loses his job and the next job he gets, because at some point he's going to get another job, but it won't be as high as the other income as the other job because he was on that job longer. So now he's on a new job, so he got to start all over.
Yes.
He will consolidate. But ladies, will you accept that consolidation? Will you accept that this let me get my square footage right. What's a nice big house? Not a mansion, but what are we talking about? 4,000, 5,000 square feet? That's a big house, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a big house. So y'all are thriving. Y'all got this 4,000 square feet house. He loses his job. Baby, it's time to consolidate. We're gonna have to downsize, and we're gonna have to go down to a 2,000 square foot home.
Mm-hmm.
Are you in? She either says yes or she says no. She says yes, she's a wife.
Mm-hmm.
She says no, that's a married person. Know the difference.
Yep.
Because a wife would say,
a knife. Yeah.
Right, Zacchaeus.
Yeah.
Because a wife would say, you know what? This is just a temporary setback. And you know what, baby? 2,000 square feet, that's enough room for us anyway.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
2,000 square feet home is not tiny.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But it's an adjustment when you were used to a 4,000 square foot home, 5,000 square foot home. It's an adjustment, right? But if you're wise, y'all are both wise, then y'all could, like I said, it's a setback, right?
Yeah.
You still have the most important things that matters to the both of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Health,
yeah.
Right? Let's prioritize that. Nobody thinks about that anymore, Zacchaeus.
It's
all about money. It's all about money, but nobody.
All about eating the dollar, yeah.
Right, but nobody thinks about the wealth. The fact that you can get up out of your bed every day and walk.
That's a blessing.
There are people who don't have their legs anymore.
Yes, or their sight.
But you too busy worried about money. There's more to life, right?
Yeah.
So you have a wife. If she says, baby, for better or worse, for richer or poor, and sickness and health. Let me drop a bomb for that.
Let me go back to the health part.
Go ahead. And Zacchaeus, you can end it off. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me go to the health part.
Mm-hmm.
It's a blessing that you can get up and walk to a bathroom. Okay? There's some people that need assistance to do that. They just need assistance to do that. There's some people that can't even use a bathroom on their own. Let me tell you something. And they're leaning on money. There's situations that happen in life where some accident happened to you or something happens when you're down and out. And you can't do for yourself like you used to do anymore. The true test to see if that mate will stay with you. That'll be the true test. When you can't do for yourself anymore, you can't help yourself anymore because situation happened. You can't situate. So, and there's always not, just don't lean on the money all the time. Always thank God that you're able to see, you're able to walk, you're able to hold each other's hand. Yes, okay, I lost a job, I lost an income, I lost extra money. Yes, I downsized because I'm making less money now. As long as I got my health, I can still run, I can still walk with you. That should really mean something. It's not always about the money because your health is your wealth. If you lose a job, that's one thing. But if you lose your sight, you lose your mobility, that's bigger than money. That's bigger than money. Because you can get a job, you can get an income. If you strive and work hard and look hard, you can get an income. But if you lose your mobility, or lose your sight, or lose a part that you need, that's very detrimental. So always count your blessings for your health. I'm going to end off that way.
I hope everybody understood where we were going with that. Because like we say all the time, we're going to talk about what shouldn't be, and we're going to talk about what should be. And we did. We did. Zacchaeus, I'll do my end outs. Y'all can get me at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the Fifth General, on TikTok, Fifth General TV. YouTube channel Fifth General TV. Subscribe, y'all. Zacchaeus, let them know how they can reach you.
You can reach me on Instagram, Zacchaeus B73 on Instagram, Wayne Backus, the Wayne Backus Gospel on Instagram, also on Facebook, Wayne Backus 2 on Facebook, 167 on Facebook. Also, you can hit me up on TikTok, Wayne Backus 2 on TikTok. Check me out. Yes.
All right. This was another episode of Mrs. Z and Fifth. We'll see y'all next time. Peace, y'all.